So Simple tutorial. Good morning students. Welcome to SST So Simple tutorial. In the previous class we had discussed what new forms of literature came up in Europe through the 17th and 18th century. We had also discussed how the ideas of scientists and philosophers became accessible to common man. Then we discussed how print culture created the basis for the French Revolution. Today we will read the next unit, the 19th century. First we will read children, women and workers. Then we will see some innovations in the printing technology in the 19th century. So let's get started. The new readers in the 19th century were largely among children, women and workers. Dear students, primary education had become compulsory in many countries in Europe. Therefore, children became an important category of readers. The publishing industry responded positively to this opportunity by taking a number of steps. School textbooks were given a priority in the production plan of different publishers. In France, a children's press devoted to literature for children alone. It was set up in 1857. The press published new books as well as old fairy tales. In Germany, the Grimm brothers spent years compiling traditional folk tales from the rural areas. This is the same Grimm brothers students that we read in Romanticism in the first chapter, Rise of Nationalism in Europe. These tales were published in 1812. A special effort was made to exclude those tales that were considered unsuitable for the children or appeared vulgar to the elites. Okay. Women also emerged as a large segment of the reading public. Penny magazines were published specially for women. You can see penny magazine in the figure. They were published between 1832 and 1835 in England by the Society for Diffusion of Useful Knowledge. These manuals taught women proper behavior and housekeeping. Many women also began to write novels and get published. These were addressed to the issues facing women. Some of the best known novelists were women like Jane Austen, the Brown sisters, George Eliot, etc. The print revolution contributed to the emergence of a new type of women. This new woman was defined as a person with will, strength of personality, determination and the power to think. Let us discuss workers now. Lending libraries existed since 17th century onwards. These libraries became instrumental for educating white-collar workers, artisans and lower middle class people in England. Many good authors emerged from this class of society. They wrote and got their autobiographies published. Such books narrated their struggles to read against grim obstacles. For example, you can read what Thomas Hood is narrating in Box 3. Maxim Gorky was a 20th century Russian revolutionary author. His books My Childhood and My University also provide glimpses of such struggles. Let us now see different innovations in the printing press during the 19th century. First innovation came in the form of power-driven cylindrical press. This was perfected by Richard M. Hoe in 1843. In this kind of press, images to be printed are curved around a cylinder, so it was more useful in printing newspapers. This machine was able to print 8,000 sheets per hour. Second was the coming of offset press in the late 19th century. This enabled printing with 6 colors at a time. Then came the electrically operated presses. This further accelerated the printing operations. Then there were improvements in the methods of feeding paper. Automatic paper reels and photoelectric controls of color registers were also introduced. These were some developments. Now, before we wind up the class, let us see what new strategies the publishers and printers developed to sell their products. Periodicals started to serialize the novels in the 19th century. That means the story was published in installments. Just like today's TV serials, this gave birth to a new way of writing novels. In the 1920s in England, popular works were sold on cheap series called shilling series. The dust cover or the book jacket is also a 20th century innovation. So these were some innovations that publishers tried to sell their products. Let me stop here, students. Time for probable questions now. 1. How had a large number of new readers among children, women and workers increased in the 19th century Europe? Explain with examples. This is a 3 marks question that was asked in 2019. 2. List the innovations that have improved the printing technology after the 17th century. Now read your textbook and prepare these questions. In the next class, we will read the next topic, India and the world of print. Till then, keep reading and have a nice time. Thank you.